All right. Take a comfortable seat and close your eyes. Find the natural uprightness of your spine without forcing, without any effort. Just allow your spine to grow up into the sky. And run a scan over your entire body from top to bottom, or maybe bottom to top. Noticing the physical sensations that are present, not making anything up, just observing. Noticing your breath. Not trying to make it deeper or longer, just observing. Take your hands into a prayer in front of your heart and set your intention for the practice today. And I would like our communal intention to be an open heart. This week we're gonna, in all the classes here at Tamat, we're gonna work on heart opening poses and on noticing the heart area in general, observing what is happening in this area physically, emotionally, what thoughts connect to it. So we'd like our communal intention to be a question, actually. What does it feel to have an open heart? What does it feel like? What does it mean to you? And physically in the posture, physical openness, and emotional openness, and maybe spiritual openness. Let's begin with one Om together. Inhale. Slowly relax your hands. And let's start, as always, with really large circles with the body. 5 in one direction, 5 in the opposite. Slowly feeling every detail of the movement. And when you're done, come back to center, relaxing your spine, but feeling alert at the same time. So find this comfortable seat that allows your body to be relaxed and alert. Find this balance. And we'll spend a little bit of time observing the breath. Heart opening poses free the breath. So I want you to pay attention how your breathing feels right now, and we'll come back to it during the class. Well, not come back, we'll continue paying attention to the breathing patterns in every posture. And then at the end of the practice, we will come back to a seated breathing meditation and compare kind of, how you felt at the beginning and how you will feel at the end. So just pay attention without changing anything. It is really interesting to pay attention to your breath when you are open to it, when you're curious about it. When I do this, sometimes I notice that parts of my body are super tense and I'm breathing in a kind of a anxious way, although there is no objective reason for it. And then if I adjust my body a little bit better, all of a sudden the breathing calms down. And the opposite is true sometimes too. So just pay attention, just observe. Is your breath long or short? Deep or shallow? Remember, there is no right way to breathe here. But allow your body to find the optimal way. Because sometimes, due to different tensions and emotions, we impose a way that is far from optimal. So just spend a couple of moments here trying to come to a completely calm and relaxed state of breathing. And now start counting for your inhale and your exhale. Start with 4 counts for your inhale And 4 counts for your exhale. Gradually, without any haste, making your exhale longer and longer by 1 count, up to 8. Don't try to go straight to 8. Spend several breaths on 4, then several breaths on 5. Maybe you will not even get to 8, and that's perfectly fine too. And as you do this, as you count and pay attention, observe what is happening in your body and what is happening in your mind. What thoughts come up, what physical sensations. And now start slowly decreasing the count for your exhale. If you reached 8, then come back to 7 for a couple of breaths, then 6, etc. Again, don't try to go back to 4 right away. And then when you come back to 4, slowly come back to your natural breathing. Take several breaths like this. And whenever you're ready, slowly open your eyes. So keeping up this quality of observation, try to pay attention to your breath in every single posture. I will remind you, but also remind yourself, and really pay very, very close attention to it. And you'll see, maybe you'll find out some interesting patterns, or not, or it will be just an exercise, a kind of a meditative exercise. So no objective really, except for observation. If you are comfortable sitting with your legs like this, when your right leg is bent forward, left leg bent back, then take this seat. Otherwise, keep a comfortable seat, whatever it is comfortable for you. And we're going to go into a side stretch. But so maybe have your block next to it or your blanket. Keep your bolster kind of close. Keep it more of your bolster in the back, because at some point, so we'll start here, and at some point we will open up like this. So make sure you have enough space to spread your shoulder blades. And whenever you're ready, come into your side stretch, putting the inner edge of your bolster at the lower ribs, and then your bottom arm can be extended, or it can be bent, and you can put your head into your bottom hand, and you can do whatever you want with your upper arm. It can be extended over your head. It can be, your palm can be on the bolster, pressing the bolster to open up a little bit more. Or you can take your hand onto the lower back to open up a little more. So whatever feels good. Maybe use a block for your head so that you don't have to support it with your hand. Find a position that feels comfortable, feels sustainable, and notice your breathing. Soften your ribs. Soften your face. And whenever you feel ready to open up, taking both of your shoulder blades onto the bolster. Your head can go all the way down to the floor, or maybe you want to have a block or blanket so that the inversion is not that great. Your arms can be out to the sides or maybe over your head. Allow your shoulders to be soft, your heart area to open physically and maybe emotionally too. And of course, if that position doesn't feel comfortable, find one that feels okay. Your legs can spread out. They don't have to stay in the same position. Notice the quality of breath here when your body is open. And ask yourself this question: what does it feel like to have an open heart? And allow the answer to this question to come to you during the practice. Don't even look for it specifically, but observe your thoughts, and maybe it will bubble up. Slowly come back to a closed position, to the side stretch, and then come all the way up. Walk your hands a little bit forward and allow your spine to round a little bit. Your head can go all the way to the floor, or maybe it's just hanging in the air. Whatever it is, allow your head to be heavy and your neck to be long, to feel long. And now slowly come out and come to the other side of the side stretch, and then opening. Remember, your legs can be in whatever position you want. Maybe you want a little bit more of the bolster on the back, yeah, so that then you can open up better. Find a comfortable position. If you struggle throughout the entire duration of the pose, then something is not right. Find a sustainable position. An enjoyable position. One that makes you feel good. And when you feel ready, and if you want to, open up, taking both of your shoulder blades onto the bolster. And you can adjust your legs so that it's comfortable. What does it feel like to have your heart open to everything? Without any fear, without any self-consciousness, allowing the world to see your vulnerability and being okay with that. What does it feel like? Can you handle it? Can you allow it? Carefully come back and then back up and walk your hands forward to round your spine a little bit. And slowly come back. Does everybody have a belt? A strap? I'm sorry? Oh, okay. Take your legs forward and put your strap maybe on the balls of your feet. Doesn't really matter. Somewhere where it feels okay. Good. And then allow your shoulders to relax. So grab your belt somewhere where your shoulders are not like this, but where they're relaxed and down. And then slowly, keeping your heart open, so keeping your heart kind of a little bit forward between your arms, start taking yourself closer and closer to your feet, not rounding your back. So maybe you won't go any further than that, and that's perfectly fine because you'll still feel the lengthening of your spine, the lengthening of the backs of your legs. Flex your feet, point your toes towards your body. And maybe as you stay here, you can come a little bit deeper. But remember, this is not the objective of this practice. It's just kind of a side effect. Maybe it will happen, maybe it won't. Notice your breath in this pose. Notice if your shoulders start to tense. Can you relax them and still keep this opening of your heart and the integrity of your legs? And release the strap and allow your legs to relax. Maybe put your hands under your knees so that you ensure that they're relaxed. And allow your spine to round, your head to drop, neck to be long. Maybe even take your head from side to side, relaxing your neck a little bit more. And slowly come all the way up. Swing your legs back and come onto all fours. Make sure that your knees are right below your hip. The tops of your feet are on the floor. Your hands are right below your shoulders. Spread your fingers really wide and make sure that you're pressing equally with all the fingers. Find the area of your lower back and notice if it is sagging a little bit naturally or not. If it is a little bit saggy, then fill it. Maybe move. It's a very subtle movement. You just kind of lift out of your hips just a little bit, and that does it. Find the area of your heart. Soften it without losing this filling of your lower back. Soften the heart area without sinking into your shoulders. So find balance. And then start taking your cat-cow movements, inhaling, arching your back, taking your heart and chest forward. And as you exhale, round your spine completely. Tuck your chin into your chest. Go at your own rhythm. Make it feel nice. Make it feel enjoyable. Every time you send your heart forward, linger there just for a little bit longer and see if you can come through with your heart just a little bit more without creating discomfort for yourself. Just playing with it, playing with your edge. Maybe you want to add some other movements, taking your hips from side to side, taking your head from side to side. And whenever you feel ready, take a child's pose, but take your time in the movement. If you need some more movement, go ahead. I'm sure nobody will protest being in child's pose a little bit longer. Slowly come back to all fours, and then if you practice downward facing dog today, then tuck your toes and stretch back into your downward facing dog. And spend several breaths here, refining your pose. Send your hips, your sit bones all the way up and soften your heart. Sending your heart towards your thighs. Play with it a little bit. Maybe bend your knees a little bit or a lot. Notice how your lower back feels when your knees are bent. And then straighten them back. So just find it. Make a downward dog your friend. Really exploring it so that you know it well. And then slowly walk your feet towards your hands and fold forward. Inhale, take a flat back, and today really pay attention to the heart opening part of the flat back. So really taking, every time you come here, take your shoulders back and down. And with your next exhale, fold forward. Inhale, take your arms all the way up. And exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, take your arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back, open heart, shoulder blades meet at the back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up, moving from the sides of your body, not only your upper arm. And exhale, hands to prayer. Do it 3 more times at your own rhythm. And remember, if you mess up the sequence a little bit, it's really not a big deal. Make it feel good. Really feel the breath during this movement. Feel the heart opening as you come to a flat back and as you come all the way up. Just feel your body in general. Notice if you are smiling or maybe you're way too serious about your sun salutation. Notice if your face is relaxed or tense. Just pay attention. And when you're done with your 3 times, come to a mountain pose. Your arms stretched alongside your body. Your palms can face your thighs or they can be turned forward, however you prefer. Take all the toes off the floor. Really find the grounding through the 3 points of your feet, the big toe mound, the little toe mound, and your heels. And then play with your toes, taking them slowly, maybe one by one, back on the floor. And if you practice it many times, enough, it will happen. You will be able to do it one by one. It's all about connecting it to the brain. And on your next inhale, take your arms up, drop your shoulders down. And as you exhale, take your arms at your back, grab your elbows. Really keep this grounding through your feet. Squeeze the kneecaps up so that you're not hyperlocking your knees, but also don't squeeze so hard that it's painful. And engage your abs, engage your pelvic floor muscles, and slowly start taking yourself into a back bend. So remember, it's important to engage your abs and pelvic floor so that you protect your lower back. And go only as far as it feels comfortable. And then slowly come back and fold forward, keeping your arms like they are. Release your arms, your fingertips to the floor or towards the floor. And maybe swing from side to side. Inhale, come to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to prayer. Step your feet either all the way together or just a little bit closer to each other for your chair pose. And come into your chair pose whenever you're ready. Make sure that your butt is not sticking out. Your pelvic floor is in a neutral position. Your tailbone down. Maybe sit a little lower. Maybe take the toes off the floor. Finding this grounding. Put them back onto the floor. Sit a little lower. If you want to, maybe you can take yourself onto your toes. Maybe sit a little bit lower yet. And fold forward. Inhale, come to a flat back. Open your heart. And as you exhale, step your left foot back into a lunge and drop your back knee onto the floor. You can stretch your back leg as much as you want to. So you don't have to be right here, kind of 90 degrees. It can be much more straightened if it feels good to you. If this lengthening feels good, and then take your hands onto your knee. Take the toes off the floor on this foot, on the front foot. Notice how the balance works in this pose. Take your toes down and take your arms up, shoulders down. Notice your breath. Maybe take a tiny back bend to open your heart a little bit more. And then take your left hand to the floor, your right arm up into the sky, and maybe straighten your back leg, taking your knee off the floor if it feels good. Notice the quality of the breath here. And with your next exhale, take both hands to the floor and step forward and fold. Inhale, flat back, open heart. Exhale, fold. Inhale your arms all the way up, but drop your shoulders. And exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, right foot into a lunge. Drop your knee onto the floor. And adjust your stance however you want. And then take your arms to your knee first. And then all the way up. Play with your balance here, or rather observe your balance here. Maybe take the toes off the floor. Take your arms up and maybe take a back bend, maybe not. And slowly take your right hand to the floor, left arm in the sky. Open up, maybe lift your back leg, or rather knee. Maybe try to lift your back leg. Why not? And with your next exhale, take both hands to the floor and step back into downward dog. Get comfortable here. And then when you're ready to inhale next time, float into your plank pose. Your shoulders right over your wrist. And here too, it's a very interesting balance to have a softened heart area, yet not sinking into your shoulders. So find it. Very nice. Keep your legs very strong and slowly float back into down dog. Walk your feet forward and fold. Inhale, come to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, hands to prayer. Take your hands onto your hips. Take your feet hip-width distance apart. And then step your left foot back into Warrior Two. But first, just come to both legs straight, and your back foot is a little bit turned Perfect. And then bring your knee, bend your knee. So bring your knee right over your second toe. I always say this, but sometimes it's very difficult to keep your knee open and to keep your hips open at the same time. So please know that it is actually more important to keep your knee along the in line with your second toe than to have your hips open very wide. So allow your back hip to adjust however it wants to in order to keep your knee comfortable. And if it means that it's a little bit less open, that's fine. But of course, try to keep it as open as it is available. Take your arms up into Warrior Two. Take toes off the floor on both feet. And slowly put them back down, keeping the grounding that the toe up position provides. Close your eyes for a second and notice your breath. Notice the opening of your heart. Can you soften it a little bit? And straighten your front leg. Maybe open your eyes or keep them closed. And as you straighten your front leg, still keep your knee over your second toe. And if it means that your hip is not completely open, is a little bit like this, that's fine. Take your arms up once again and come into your triangle pose. So in triangle pose, remember that it is more important to have your heart open. Yeah. Very nice. Soften your ribs. Look at your, or feel your knee, or look at your knee at the front knee. Notice if it's closing or if it's still in line with your second toe. Slowly come up and take it into reverse triangle pose. So take your left arm to your left thigh and take your right arm up. Both legs are straight. Soften your ribs. Maybe even turn your chest a little bit more to the ceiling, really opening the heart. Very beautiful. And slowly come back up. Step your feet together at the top of your mat. Maybe shake your legs out and fold forward. Inhale, come to a flat back, open heart. Exhale, fold. Inhale, your arms all the way up, opening the heart, opening the sides of your body. And exhale, hands to prayer. Take your hands onto your hips, step your feet hip-width distance apart, and then right foot goes back into Warrior Two. So find it on your own. Making sure your knee is in a safe position. And then take your arms up whenever you feel ready. Look at both arms. Make sure that they are in the same line with one another. Drop your shoulders. Relax your face. Keep your torso right over your hips. Not more forward, not more back. Really beautiful. Don't worry about the external expression of this pose. Maybe close your eyes and feel. How does it feel to have an open heart in this pose? Can your heart be soft in this pose? Or does it have to be kind of fierce? And slowly straighten your front leg and come into your triangle pose. So I always say that it's not important to go all the way to the floor with your hand, as long as you, it's more important to feel your heart opening, and it is true. But you've been practicing it for long enough to explore. Maybe you can take your hand a little bit lower and still feel this opening. So don't be afraid to explore this as well. But if you don't, then come back. Couple more breaths, softening your ribs, softening your heart and opening. And slowly come all the way up and take it to reverse triangle. So this time your right hand is going to be on your side and your left arm goes up. And you can open your heart as much to the ceiling as you want to. Very nice. Beautiful. Soften your ribs. Soften the back of your heart. Can you feel the back of your heart? And slowly come up. Take your feet together at the top of your mat and allow yourself to fold forward. Step your feet as you continue to fold forward. Step your feet hip-width distance apart and maybe grab your toes with your first 3 fingers. Bend your knees a little bit. Take your head as close to the knees as possible, and then start straightening your knees and allow that to stretch to lengthen your spine a little bit more. Drop your head, relax the neck. Release your fingers. On your next inhale, take it to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. And as you exhale, hands to prayer. Take your feet to the edges of your mat and come. Maybe you will need a bolster to come into your squat. So you can either not use a bolster, stay here, or maybe use a bolster. There's nothing wrong with that. Stay here, keeping your elbows and your knees. Very nice. Opening your heart. Allowing the shoulder blades to meet at your back. And relax, sink onto the floor. Stretch your legs out, shake them out. And let's come to a boat pose. So here it's also a very heart opening pose. It can be. If you really take your torso forward towards your thighs and open your heart, allowing your shoulder blades to meet at the back, your shoulders to drop. Maybe you keep your hands here all the time, or maybe you open your arms If you want for today, for your heart opening practice, open them even more. Notice how that changes the pose. Maybe start straightening your legs. Relax your face. And take the soles of your feet together. Fold forward. Forward folds are reminders for you that you have all the tools to manage your heart. You can have it open at all times, be vulnerable, be very receptive to the world, but at the same time, whenever you need to exercise self-care, you can just retreat a little bit without closing off completely. Just take a break, relax. You have the tools to open your heart physically and then to close it a little bit. Slowly come all the way up. And one more time, let's come to the boat pose. Grab the fingers, the toes with your fingers. And then you can either stay here or start straightening your legs, keeping your heart very nice, your heart open. Very nice. And maybe play with it, taking it back and forth. And if you fall back, that's fine. Come back, try again. Notice your face. Notice your breath. Are you even breathing? And one more time, take the soles of your feet together, fold. Take yourself all the way up and come onto your back. Take a block with you and put your block under your sacrum for a bridge pose. So find a perfect spot for it, because sometimes you can put it in a spot that really compresses your back. So you don't want that. You want your lower back to be open. And then you can have your legs bent. Maybe your feet mat width distance and your knees are together. Maybe your feet are together and knees together. Or maybe you want to have a more open version of the bridge and straighten your legs. That's an option as well. Maybe you want to take your arms to the side to have this feeling of an open heart even more. Or maybe you want them back behind your head.
No, that's actually doing for an open heart. Is tucking the shoulders.
Oh, that's a great suggestion. So as John is suggesting, then try that. That is an excellent point. Thank you. And slowly release your block. Take your knees into your chest. And do whatever you prefer doing to release your lower back. Maybe it is swinging from side to side. Maybe it is happy baby, or whatever you wish. And then one more time, come to sit up at the top of your mat. And this time, open your legs wide. Take your hands to both legs and just start again with an open heart, not rounding your back. Start walking your hands down your legs. Maybe you won't get very far, I don't. Or maybe you're flexible enough to go, some people go all the way down without rounding their back. Maybe you can grab your toes with your fingers. That's kind of actually helpful to keep your shoulders down. And notice your breath. Slowly walk your hands back up. Take your right foot into your left thigh and fold over your left leg. If you want this fold to be more about the hamstring and calf stretch, then flex your foot and really squeeze your kneecap up, make it a strong stretch. But if you want it to be more about relaxation and forward fold, then allow your knee to relax, allow your leg to relax, your foot to be relaxed. And slowly come back up. And take it to the other side. Take your right leg straight and your left foot in and fold over. Slowly walk yourself to sit up. And we'll do one last heart opening pose before Shavasana. Let me show you first. I don't remember if we ever did it. It's called fish pose. Did we do it? Fish pose? Fish? Okay. In fish pose, you basically, what you do is you put your palms face the floor, and you kind of sit on them. And then you tuck your shoulder blades together and come up onto your forearms. And maybe you are just here, or maybe you can take your head all the way to the floor. You point your toes, and you really lengthen through this. And then, imagining a fish outside of its element, You open the mouth wide and stick out the tongue, and you can even open your eyes wide. Oh, yeah. And it's really a good pose for the throat chakra, and you can exercise your eyes as well. So it's really important to tuck your shoulders together here so that you can come up a little bit better. You can also make some horrible sounds. That's actually part of the pose. You can do. This is really good for the throat chakra. Laura loves doing this. Very nice. And really let it go. Allow it to be loud. That's nice. It feels good, no? Take a couple breaths. And relax. Coming into your Shavasana. And maybe before Shavasana you want to take a twist to one side and then the other. Maybe you want to take a happy baby. Or maybe go straight to your Shavasana. As you sink into your deep relaxation, scan your body one more time. Notice the physical sensation, especially in the area of your heart. Notice your breath. Notice your emotions, your thoughts. Allow all of it to be connected. Don't try to get rid of your thoughts. Just allow them to arise and go away. Don't force anything out. Allow everything that is present to be welcome. Take it in with an open heart. Slowly start coming back into the present moment and do whatever you need to do to wake up your body, to wake up your mind, eventually making your way back into your comfortable seat, but really taking your time. There is absolutely no rush. And as you find your comfortable seat, grow your spine tall, relax, and come back to this breathing exercise we did at the very beginning of the practice. First, just observing your natural rhythm of breathing, noticing your body, noticing your thoughts, your emotions. And then start the count. 4 for your inhale, 4 for your exhale. And then gradually adding to the exhale count. All the way up to 8, if it is possible. And if it doesn't feel comfortable, don't worry about it. But do it slowly and gradually. And now slowly start decreasing the count for your exhale. But again, do it gradually. Don't jump from 8 to 4. Go through all the numbers for a couple of breaths, 2, 3 breaths on each decreasing count. And when you come back to the count of 4 for your exhale, relax your breathing to the natural rhythm. And once again notice what is the natural rhythm of your breathing. Notice if you feel any difference between the pattern of your breathing right now at the very beginning of your practice. And remember, it's not necessarily important to notice this difference. It's just an exercise in paying attention. Take your hands into a prayer in front of your heart. Remember the intention that you set at the beginning of your practice. Let it go, or maybe reaffirm it to take with you for the rest of your day. As always, bow your head towards your hands, thanking yourself for your dedication and discipline, and for your generosity to be sharing your practice with each other. And I thank you very much for coming in this morning and sharing your energy with me. And thank you for allowing me to guide your practice. Namaste.